Good morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
Authorities are looking for a Harrisburg man in connection with a recent shooting in central Sioux Falls.
Court documents say Jabril Fears and another man approached a group of 10 to 12 people on Sunday evening and started firing guns. One man was grazed by a bullet.
Fears is wanted for 2 counts of felony assault. There's a $250,000 warrant for his arrest. At this point, no charges are filed against the man listed as the second shooter, so we're not releasing his name.
A Lincoln County judge has sentenced the man who killed a woman he abducted from a Sioux Falls Walmart parking lot to life in prison without parole.
Amir Baudouin's attorneys had asked that he be eligible for parole during a sentencing hearing in Canton Wednesday, but the judge said there's a slim chance for rehabilitation.
Baudouin had entered a guilty plea to manslaughter in exchange for a murder charge being dropped.
Manslaughter is murder with a different, just under a different, by a different name. So it's still very much a murder case. Still, warranted a life sentence. We would have arrived at that basically with a jury verdict as well.
Baudouin's case lasted more than 5 years, in part because of legal issues that he wasn't mentally fit to stand trial.
A judge moved the case forward in January by declaring he was competent after Baudouin began taking medications.
Court documents say the Sioux Falls man accused of killing Moody County Chief Deputy Ken Prorock last year had a history of violence and threats. Joseph Hook is accused of purposely running down Prorock during a chase on February 2nd, 2024.
When he goes on trial, prosecutors want jurors to know about some of Hook's behaviors before the death of Deputy Prorock. He allegedly used a large knife to slash tires on 12 vehicles and violated an active protection order filed by a Sioux Falls apartment manager.
Now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Scott Munn, starting the day with some rain, Scott.
Yeah, rain will continue to move to the northeast as we go through the morning hours. I think a lot of this will be done shortly after midday. We'll try to bring in some sunshine later today, too. But temperatures will remain below average in eastern KELOLAND with numbers mainly in the 70s. I think we'll have some sunshine central and western South Dakota today as temperatures do hit the middle 80s in Pierre and Rapid City. And Brian will have more details on your forecast coming up.
Thank you, Scott. A Rapid City man has set a new fishing record in the state. A Game Fish and Park shared this picture of Patrick Cierney and the 7-pound, 12-ounce Atlantic salmon he caught.
The fish was caught on Lake Sharp, which is impounded by the Big Bend Dam on the Missouri River. The record is in the hook and line category.
If you want to help out some pit bulls this weekend, there are a few events happening.
The Sioux Empire Pit Rescue is holding its 16th annual poker run this Saturday. The run will visit 5 places in the area.
You can sign up for the poker run up until the event. We do want pre-registrations as much as possible so we have an idea of how many people we're going to be having visit with the dogs and playing the games. The event starts at 11, so if you want to show up here at 11 and just hang out, that's also an opportunity to give back to the rescue and buy some cool merchandise.
If you don't ride a motorcycle, there's also going to be a rummage sale hosted to raise funds for Shelby.
Shelby needs surgery on his ACLs due to being malnourished in the past. We've posted information on both events on KELOLAND.com.
The Supervised Playground program is back for another summer in Sioux Falls. The program from Sioux Falls Parks and Recreation visits 4 city parks per day, 90 minutes each, and rotates locations every 2 weeks.
The kids play games at every stop, including wiffle ball, gaga ball, and 9 square. And this year, Parks and Rec has added the mobile recreation unit.
You know, we brought them together just more or less, just to consolidate staffing a little bit, try to get to more parks more frequently, a little bit more additional times. So it's just, they were kind of the same purpose throughout the city, and we thought, why not just bring them together?
The games happen every weekday, rain or shine, as long as there's no thunder or lightning. The mobile recreation unit will also be out this Sunday afternoon at Laurel Oak, Morningside, and Lewis Parks.
We provided a link with a complete summer schedule for the mobile rec unit and supervised playground program under this story on KELOLAND.com.
That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last check of your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, watching the weather this morning, we've got an area of disturbed weather there, that low pressure center disturbance moving through, and also the rain with it, and some of it's been locally heavy at times. We've had over 2 inches of rain just a little west and southwest of Sioux Falls since midnight. Chancellor areas in that category, and I've seen some totals between Hartford and T that are pretty good here as of 7 a.m. So again, just depending on where you live, you can go around, though. You'll find numbers not nearly that heavy, too. Worthington, you're at about 2,000 so far in the 24-hour total. But the Mitchell area is over 2 inches of rain. So again, another example of what we're tracking. Before we get to today's forecast, I want to iron out a couple of headlines for the weekend. Tomorrow night, there is a risk of severe weather in central South Dakota. The main risk here is individual storm cells with large damaging hail and also some very gusty, strong straight line winds. We'll keep an eye on that. Isolated tornado, not impossible to get either. So make sure you're plugged in on the forecast west of Sioux Falls tomorrow night. Saturday night, that risk area slides a little bit east. It includes a large area. We're kind of fighting this interesting battle here. We've got a lot of heat, a lot of humidity, but we also have a pretty substantial cap on the atmosphere initially. So this is a scenario that could tip either way. Obviously, if it goes toward more of a severe weather scenario, we could be looking at some pretty strong wind with a line of storms here for Saturday night, that is. Again, that's a scenario that is still in the works here. By no means is that a guarantee, but I would strongly recommend you just kind of stay up on the weather just in case we need to continue to emphasize that. Here's the rain this morning. That's kind of departing out of here, and we're going to transition into some decreasing clouds this afternoon from west to east. Temperatures will zoom up into the 80s for Pierre and also for Rapid City. Forecast tonight, generally speaking, looks pretty quiet. At this point, we're more inclined to just say tomorrow, warming up. We're going to bring back the 80s in Sioux Falls. And then late in the day is when these thunderstorms could fire up in the central part of South Dakota. Whether or not those make it to Interstate 29 by Saturday morning, could. This is trying to force some of that weather a little bit farther east of the James Valley after 10 o'clock on Friday evening. So there'll be more to say about that scenario later today. And then again, as I bring up our concerns for Saturday night, look at the heat ahead of that line of storms. We're talking 90-degree weather and copious amounts of humidity. No question in my mind about that. I think we're going to open up with all this recent rain we've had. We're going to have a lot of evaporation too. So again, sometimes thunderstorms thrive on that recycled moisture. Mid-70s today, Sioux Falls. We're jumping to 85 tomorrow, 90 on Saturday, 87 on Sunday. Quick peek at the 7-day for Aberdeen and Pierre and Rapid City. I think we'll get that heat here for Saturday, but then we'll start dropping the numbers a bit on Sunday and Monday. Humidity-wise, too, it should drop a few notches, given the fact we've got some cool down, a Canadian cold front coming on in. So Pierre also will see probably the peak heating tomorrow and Saturday, and that's fuel for storms. Again, and specifically for Pierre tomorrow night, could be kind of the roughest patch of weather. Rapid City, you're also looking at some storm chances, but they're not as high as we go into the weekend. Check out more details online at KETHLELAND.com.